Hi everyone, checking in for your astrology for the week. There's a lot going on this week, so let's get to it. Starting off the week, the moon is in Aquarius, and that is dancing with the Aries energy. So, this is a sense of moving forward in an authentic way. It's about asking what feels good, what feels liberating, what feels freeing. And a piece of that Aries energy is Chiron. So, can your community, can your group, do they understand your wounds, and can you use those as a sacred space to really create connection and to help liberate each other from these storylines that may be connected to wounds that are no longer serving you or no longer relevant. Also, the moon in Aquarius is opposing Mars in Leo. The common thread that I see between these two signs is pride. And it's interesting, right? You open social media, you see something that shouldn't be polarizing at all, but lo and behold, you navigate to the comments section, everybody is warring. And so it's like, okay, there's pride in justice and collective beliefs, and then there's pride in your talents and your views and the things that you hold. So it's interesting because the sun moves into Gemini on Tuesday, which has the power to hold the octaves of different perspectives. And so it's interesting when we pull this thread of pride, can we step back to find the commonality? Everybody, when you see these polarized views, what's the intention, what's the outcome that they want, and typically it's what's best for humanity. So Gemini, while it can hold duality, can also start to recognize what are the commonalities that there is space to bond over and become curious about and have some fun with. Gemini is bringing in a little bit of levity. It's about communication, intellect, information, how we're responding to the information that's coming through around us. It's laughter as medicine. Can we step and not take things too seriously? So really, that's the invitation. Can you take in octaves of different perspectives? And on Wednesday, the moon has moved into Pisces. It's making a sextile with Mercury and Taurus. So this is a really nice opportunity to use what's going on in your 3D world here in the tangible. Use your senses and tune into how your body feels and responds, and use that as an emotional compass to point you towards what's met and unmet needs, right? Has the foundation shifted? Has the need shifted? Can you show up with compassion and with empathy, right? And we're going to need that walking into Thursday and Friday because we have a lot of intense Aries energy that's going on, and it's playing with the air signs. And also that Leo Mars. So there's going to be really intense feelings. And with intense feelings comes the need to respond instinctually right from our current programming and our primal need for survival. But the fact that that Aries moon energy is playing with the Pluto and Aquarius energy, that's a little bit of a, hey, your actions have consequences and can create long-term shifts. So can you understand that? Can you manage these intense emotions and understand how do they relate to your sense of self-worth, self-confidence, where you need to move forward, but without tearing those down around you? Can you understand what are the octaves of pride, of rejection, the inner child wounding, abandonment, those sorts of things that are showing up in the way that you might want to respond, rather than maybe validating your own self-worth and moving with a sense of integrity, which is going to be a really big theme as we trickle into Saturday when Saturn moves into Aries as well. There's a sense it's being called for, right? Saturn is our planet of discipline, integrity, responsibility. And in the sign of Aries, wants us to take on a leadership role, and it's learning, it's moving into the next stage of maturity, but doing this with thoughtful action and integrity. But Saturn's also playing the long game. So it does understand that a piece of those childlike, right, Aries being the first sign of the zodiac, those immature responses do hold karmic lessons for long-term growth. And so really there's a sense of almost a karmic rebirth too, in a way that can hold the potential. There's a clearing of karmic storylines that we're holding, and how we're currently holding them. And it's really finding some integrity through how we're acting, how we're responding in this stuff. So a lot of opportunity there with Saturn shift. It's an outer planet. So it moves much slower as we walk in here. There's also a sense of responsibility, whereas Aries is ruled by Mars, the god of war. It wants to fight. Saturn's asking you to choose what you're fighting for more responsibly. Is it going to matter in 5 minutes, 5 months, 5 years? And then determine how you want to handle that situation. How much heat, how much passion needs to be placed into that. And it's a bit of a test of your identity. Who are you beyond impulse, I would say. So that is kind of what's happening on Saturday. And then on Sunday, Mercury moves into its home sign of Gemini. So this is all about sacred communication. This is about being able, open, curious to having different dialogues. Are you, and right, so when that gets there on Sunday, it's dancing with this Saturn and Aries energy at that 0 degree mark, which is asking you, are you communicating to win? Aries combative energy. Are you communicating out of passion? Aries energy. Or are you communicating to understand? And Gemini, I find, is like the tree of life, right? It's got those two twines that are independent of one another. It can hold the duality, but the roots are coming from the same soil. Can you turn it into a really passionate space to communicate with those around you, learn more about them, have a little fun with life? And honestly, I see Gemini kind of right through the twins. It's the sign of the mirror. Can you use the dialogue and the information around you that you're interacting with as a mirror to up-level your soul growth?